killed for spitting in the kitchen sink? Answer me that. Tell me how a man gets killed by another man because he confronts the man because he spit in his kitchen sink. Now, if somebody came to your house and they were in your kitchen and you saw them spit in your kitchen sink, what would you do? Would you ask them, man, why are you doing that? That's nasty. Depending on who they are, right? If they're a family member, maybe your brother, y'all get into a little argument. He's your brother. He feels like he can do whatever he wants. He's been nasty his whole life. Y'all get into whatever. Y'all been getting in your whole life and he moves on. Maybe not. I don't know. But if it's somebody who's a friend of a friend and you don't really know them and they come to your house and they spit in your kitchen sink and you ask them not to spit in your kitchen sink, do you think they're going to kill you? Nah, hopefully not, right? Well, that's what happened to this man. The news says, according to, I'm looking at the article right here, the news, this happened in Michigan. A man was shot and killed because they were having a hangout and a party at his house, playing some cards. I don't know what they were doing, according to different stories and news outlets, that the man saw the guy who was visiting his house spitting in his kitchen sink. And he said, man, don't do that. That's nasty. And he asked the dude to leave. So at that point, the dude who spit in the sink, you expected, okay, man, to get out the apartment, just leave, move on, whatever. He might not like it. He might just be a foul, nasty dude, but it ain't his house to be foul and nasty in. Instead, he gets offended. That's right. The spirit of offense. The dude got offended. And so his offense led him to shooting and killing the person whose house and sink he was spitting in, who didn't want him spitting in that sink. He shot and killed him. Blam, 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 blam. Busting him. The answer, all the solution right there. He shot him, killed him. Because he didn't want nobody telling him not to spit in the kitchen sink. And first and foremost, that's nasty. That's disgusting. Now, if you want to spit in your own kitchen sink at your own house, that's fine. That's your kitchen sink. You could take a crap in your kitchen sink if you want to. I think it's disgusting and nasty, but it's yours. It's at your house. You could do what you want. You own it. You pay the rent. But you don't go to somebody else's house and spit in their sink and then get mad if they confront you about spitting in their sink and kill them, shoot them. Now, we got an innocent man who's dead. The man's name was Cornelius Jones. And you know what? Rest in peace to Cornelius. Because an innocent young life was taken. And this man had kids. He had children. He had a family who loved him. And now he's gone simply because he confronted somebody. See, that's the problem we got in society now. We scared to confront people because we don't know who's going to blast us, who's going to kill us. We got a society, and it's starting with the young kids at the schools. You can't tell them nothing. Now, this is a prison channel. So I'm going to go back to prison. I spent a lot of time in prison. That's my whole reason for this prison channel, is to tell the stories and talk about, the crime and crime-related issues. This is definitely a crime-related issue. I remember being in jail, and one of the nastiest things I used to see when I go brush my teeth was that in the bathroom sinks, there'd just be spit. And I used to see dudes do it all the time, especially in the what I would call a parish jail level, or these little parish jails that house a lot of state prisoners. You could tell these dudes ain't got no upbringing. And here's the thing. You could tell one not to do it, and he might be like, yeah, it's my bad, because he's not somebody who's going to make a big deal about it, because he's just somebody who's not strong enough, who's not, confrontational. He's a little bit weaker, so he's just going to be like, oh, I'm sorry, and not do it. But most people in there are alpha males who got their chest poked up. So if you tell them don't spit in the sink, they're going to be like, man, what you trying to check me, man? Say, don't tell me to spit in the kitchen sink, man. I'll shank you behind that. Man, they will kill you for telling them something. So you got to pick your battles. And so if you tell one, you're going to have to tell everybody. So you think to yourself, oh, it's not really worth it. If you're an average person. Now, if you're a mega dinosaur, they got them in jail. Dudes who confront and do anything, they're in there. They might tell you to do something and you ain't going to do it. But that's not the norm. That's the exception, where you get guys who just do and tell anybody anything. They are in there. And if they tell you don't spit in it, you ain't going to spit in it. But the average person in jail is not going to tell the average person in jail don't spit in the sink. And so you go to brush your teeth and you look, man, and you see that there's spit. You can see hoagies, just half mucus and half spit. And there'd be 2 or 3 of them sitting in there. And you thinking to yourself, dang, bro, if you was going to spit in the sink, why you ain't turn the water on and just rinse it off? Like, that's the thing. You're talking about a mentality of people, right? in prison, and I don't care what color they are. So don't start with all that crybaby stuff. It don't matter. I saw white people do it. I saw black people do it. I saw just foul and nasty people do it. You know what I mean? And I don't know if they have statistics on what color people spit in the sink worse. I don't know that. You know what I mean? But I do know it's just nasty no matter who you are. And so they spitting in there. But here's the thing. They ain't got no upbringing. They ain't got no common sense. They don't even care about their own hygiene enough to know that, man, that's disease. That carries viruses and germs. You got to rinse that down, bro, so you can stay healthy, make it home to your family, so you can make it out. You only got a 10-year sentence, man. You're still in your 20s. You get out in your 30s. You can still have kids, a family, and a wife. You can still have a productive life. But instead, you're offended. And you're going to go back home and see. If you can't tell somebody not to spit in the sink because it's a hygienic problem and it's nasty, and it's just not the way that you socially should be doing things, even in public, going spit in the kitchen sink bathroom or spit in the bathroom sink, just spit in it and leave it there without rinsing it. There's a reason it's got running water. Now I get it if you go into one of them old beat up public restrooms and it's not working, it's spit, there ain't no running water. You get a lot of that in the city. Any cities are disgusting. You've seen San Francisco. Don't take up for that place. It's nasty. Chicago, nasty. New York, they on the verge. They becoming worse and worse every time you turn on the news, man. You can't tell nobody nothing. So in prison, if you tell this dude, don't spit in the sink, you know what they're going to say? You know what the common occurrence is of people in prison? If you try to guide them and correct them and tell them knowledgeable things that will help improve them in their life, man, don't tell me nothing, man. Can't nobody tell me nothing. That's why they in jail. You see the difference? When I was in prison doing all that time, I let all that stuff sink in. I'm like, damn, when I get through this, do I really want to come back in here where I have to deal with people who spit in sinks and don't have the common sense to wash the spit and mucus into the drain? They too stupid. That's right. They either stupid or don't care or just foul and nasty. Now, when you get to the state prison level, there's going to be a whole lot less of that because you get more of a collective of individuals who are going to stand together and going to be like, man, you ain't going to do this in the sink. And not just that, the officers and the staff make their rounds and they keep stuff clean. There's orderlies and all that. And then there's people going to tell people, other convicts who are doing life sentences, and that's their home. That's their sink. They share it. So you're just not going to spit in it. But on those parish jails in Louisiana and those satellite parish camps that are parish jails where they just housing a bunch of state inmates who are doing 10, 20, 30 year, 40, 50 life sentences stuck in a parish jail, just like a county jail. All day long for 10, 15 years. Yeah, some dudes are spending that kind of time in these little satellite parish camps. It's nasty in those places. It's not run like the state prison. You see, my cat's even fussing and complaining, saying them dudes is nasty. That's disgusting. Man, don't kill somebody or don't get killed. The sad part is my boy got killed all because he just asked somebody not to do something that was disgusting. We want to get out of prison and we want to be productive members of society. We got to be willing to receive criticism and correction. That's the problem with the spirit of society today and the mind of depraved man today. Nobody can correct you. If you can't be corrected on a small level, how are you going to succeed in a high level? I'm making it. I'm making it as a convict with violent charges. I'm surviving. I figured it out. I wasn't a victim no more. Instead, I realized I made people a victim. I took responsibility and I corrected my actions. And sometimes it starts with small stuff, with being able to be told something. There was times in my life where I didn't want nobody telling me nothing, but I had to realize that correction is good. Correction is love. I wish I would have listened to my parents more. I wish I would have paid more attention to some of the school teachers, to some of the authority in my life. Authority is good. Authority keeps balance. Unfortunately, people are growing up and they're not learning anything, and then you can't tell them nothing. And then they want to kill you. If you tell them and correct them or try to guide them and tell them that's nasty. Don't go to jail, because in jail, you got to deal with people's nasty spit. And don't hang out with people. Vet the people, man. Watch who you let into your house. That's another thing. You see it clear as day. My man got killed because he let somebody in his house who spit in the sink, who killed him. That's how much regard that dude had for the dude. He killed the dude who had him as a guest just because he told him, don't spit in my sink. Now, he's probably, and he should, Don't make no mistake. Don't make no excuse for him. He should do the rest of his life in prison, likely. You know, I believe in redemption and change. But even with redemption and change, depending on what you did, there's still consequences to your action. I did my time in prison for what I did. Now, you can talk about how much time is fair and how much time ain't fair, but he got to go to jail. And now the other man's kids got to grow up without him. And the dude who pulled the trigger, he probably got kids too. I don't know. I don't know the whole story. I just know I saw it. And I know in prison, I witnessed it and made me think about that. And it's funny because I just found out about this today. And a couple days ago, I was talking to my wife about that, how dudes used to spit in the sink. And I used to think it was just so nasty. Don't go to prison because you're going to have to live and brush your teeth in a parish or county jail with nasty spit in it. And if you're somebody who's spitting in the kitchen sink and it ain't your kitchen sink, man, check yourself. Quit being nasty. And I hope you're teaching your kids better. I know your mama wanted to teach you better, and your father. Hopefully your father's in your life and your mother. Quit getting offended. How can convicts get offended? Can't tell them nothing. They're supposed to be tough, man. You got to be able to be told something, man. I believe that they should start sending convicts back to the military. That's what they should start doing. They should start saying, you want 10 years in jail or you want to enlist? You're going to fight for the country. And we need people fighting for the country. It's obviously, you turn on the news, there's wars and rumors of wars everywhere. Don't even get me started biblically. But don't be spitting in nobody's sink. And don't kill nobody behind it neither. Man, check out my channel. I'm trying to get it going. Southern Crime and Incarceration, where we talk about all things incarcerated and crime related. And then I get deeper into the stories of the Louisiana prison system and even the prison system abroad. Let's get it.